Hello, my loves. I am Raven Douglas, and this is a new podcast that I am starting called The Journey. Now, it is that season of love or whatever. Shout out everybody who had a Valentine. Good for you. Anyway, since I'm probably the last person that needs to be saying anything about romantic love right now, except for, what not to do, we're gonna change direction. Today is gonna focus on a different type of love. The theme is the love of what you do. Let's get into it. So if you follow me on Instagram, I posted this on my story earlier this week, asking the question, do you love what you do? I gave 3 answer choices: yes, no, or indifferent. And then I also provided the little, question thing so people can explain why. I also interviewed 3 people in person, and here are their answers. And do you love what you do?
To the max, yes, I do.
And do you love what you do?
I do. Very much.
Obviously, you love what you do since you started it. What do you love most about it?
I'd say just the ability to inspire anybody if they pick it up and just they get that thought in their head where they're like, I want to become more fashionable and I think this can help me out. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess just changing people's view on fashion.
What I love about it is that I get to go different places, see a lot of people, meet great people, fun people, especially this crew that I'm with right now. If you get into something that you love, you have a passion for, you will never work a day in your entire life because you enjoy and do what you're doing and getting paid to do it.
I love being around all you kids and seeing you every day. It brightens my day. And I love to clean.
I thought those responses were really special, really heartwarming. It opens your eyes a little bit that finances aren't everything. Not saying these people aren't making any money, but it showed that it's more than finances, more than the amount of money that you're making. But do you actually value what you do? Do you actually value the people that you are working around? And it shows that it can make a huge difference in your experience in that career path. On Instagram, the responses, so out of the 50 people who answered, 31 people said yes, they do love what they do. 8 people said no, and 11 people said that they were indifferent. Now, I also left this section for people to answer why, like I said, just so that we know, why. What does that look like? Why don't you enjoy what you're doing? What would you rather be doing? Things like that. Just kind of a curiosity standpoint. But I thought it really opened my eyes to what we're talking about today. So some of the people who said no talked about how they feel like they're wasting time. They feel like there's more that they could be doing. That part of feeling like they're not doing enough. And somebody left a really thoughtful response that I really wanted to share. He said, he works in insurance right now. He said, I desire work not depending on man's will, but fully on God's provision. So I asked him kind of to explain a bit more of what he means by that. And he said a lot of the stuff that he does now and the path that he went to school for and followed, a lot of it depends on the greed of mankind. And he said, instead of being bound by those and being influenced by that type of desire, he wants to place his circumstances more in God's hands. He's hoping to have his own land one day and to be able to take care of his own food, his own resources, things like that, and just have his own space with God's hands on that. So I thought that was very beautiful. A few of the other responses had a lot of similarities that I thought, and I'm gonna read them. I'll put it up here, but I'm gonna read a few of them and kind of see if y'all pick up on a bit of the common themes here. So somebody said, because every day I watch God do something in my life and use me to do something in others. Somebody said I get to help other people build wealth and find a home. Somebody said that he's passionate about it. He's helping others and he enjoys the people that he works with. Marcus Hodges, he's a huge one. He said he's able to inspire hundreds of thousands of people from all walks of life with basketball. Oh, somebody said also, I love what I'm doing right now because it's like medicine to my mental. Let's think about that. Why is that? I'm gonna talk about it soon, but I hope that y'all see a common theme that I want to address here. Before we really get into it, a quick backstory on why this topic is so important to me and why I fully believe in what we're saying and what has been said. My transition coming in to college as a Division I athlete was a really tough one. I'm 500 miles away from home. I'm away from my comfort people. I'm a homebody. I really value time with my family. I'm in a predominantly white space and I'm not playing that well on the court. The transition was really hard for me. It was, the environment just was just really tough for me. So I started to lose my love for basketball. It started to look different, started to shift. So because basketball had a huge influence in my life, because it had my identity on the court was a huge part of my identity outside of it, my loss for love of the game started to affect my love of life, my love of just the day-to-day things. It started to affect who I was. And I had to go through that process of either separating the two or finding a way to love it again. So now what does that look like? Now that we've talked about how it makes us feel, how it makes people feel, what does really loving what you do look like? So just kind of to break it down a little bit, if you don't know, experts have found that there are different types of love. People have broken it down into like 8 categories, or some people have broken it down to like 3 main categories. For example, like the biggest 3 that I know about, 1, romantic love, 2, familial love, and the deepest that has influence overall, agape love, which is the love of God, the love of everything, God's love of everything, the love of God. Now, being connected to and being in alignment with God's love gives you the ability to really love what you are doing on a deeper level. Now, the biggest thing that I found in each type of love that I do know is there are a couple of common traits. Those 3 are intentionality, commitment, and fulfillment. In whatever you are doing or choosing to do, are you intentional with it? Are you committed to it? And does it fulfill you? So you saw Clive, it was fulfilling to him because he's traveling and he's meeting great people. We saw Omar, it was fulfilling to him because he's sharing different people's perspectives of fashion, showing how to find fashion in different ways. Marcus finds fulfilling and inspiring others through sport, through basketball. So I looked it up. Fulfillment is defined as the achievement of something desired. It's in the word. It fills you up. That empty feeling that you may have, that desire to look or be elsewhere, you don't need that when you are fulfilled because it fills you up. It fills up that hole. Another cool thing that I found about fulfillment is researchers found that there are a couple of areas of fulfillment that people truly value and were able to put into words really well. One is unfolded. They called it unfolded self in life. And that was basically the ability for someone to pursue projects that are really important to them, to do things that are really important to them or that they value to do. And then the other part of that is just people being in a place where they can be their own unique, true self and lead that type of life in a way that you feel is you. I literally have it tatted, stay true to yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing, is being able to be who you are in that space. Are you able to be who you are in your space? Okay, and then the other part of that was leaving a positive impact and legacy. And that was the part that I wanted everybody to get when we were going through the responses. Are you in a place where you're able to serve others in some way? Are you in a place where you're able to give, to lift somebody up, to provide somebody with something? Are you in a place where you're bringing great energy? And that energy is, because believe it or not, energy is very transferable. Are you bringing energy into a place that is pouring into somebody else's cup and filling them up as well? I think being able to say that you have left a positive impact on the place that you have been regardless if you truly liked that place, it switches your mindset and you have a different type of love for it, because you can love something without liking doing it. So that's a huge piece of it, of that fulfillment part. Are you leaving a positive legacy? Are you serving others? And in that same way, like I said, agape love, God's love, is an example of that. And God calls us, and the biggest thing he calls us to do is love. And in a way of loving, it is to serve others. So he calls us to do that already. Now, going back to intentionality, if you read the Bible, you can see how detailed God is when he calls somebody to do something. And he tells us ahead of time. He calls us each by name. So you can tell God's love is intentional. That is an example of intentionality. He calls us by name. He gives us these specific details. He is intentional with calling us to not do something or warning us about something, because this is how it would hurt us. And we'll talk about that much more later. But then if you think about in romantic love, people who are in relationships or truly in love will do things with intention. I'm intentionally going to spend time with this person. I'm intentionally going to plan this date. I'm intentionally going to buy this for this person because I know this person likes that and I want them to know that I like them. So now intentional is defined as doing things with a purpose. You must move with a purpose when you love something. Now, approaching things with intentionality could look like how you are starting your day. Are you intentional about the energy that you are starting your day with? Are you intentional about how you are coming into what, maybe it's practice or maybe it's the work environment? Are you intentional with what you are saying to people? Are you intentional with your time? Maybe it's outside of practice. Are you intentional with getting recovery in? Are you intentional with building connections with your professors or your teammates? A lot of that stuff is, are you moving with that type of purpose? Do you have it in you to move with that type of purpose? That's when you know that you really love something, because you start to shift your energy to have more purpose when you are approaching the things that you have to do for it. Intentionality. And the last thing may be the hardest. Commitment. Commitment is defined as the state of being dedicated to a cause. And this one was special to me because I heard somebody say that sometimes love is a choice, not just a feeling. And I talked about it before, how sometimes you can love something and not particularly like it in the moment. And so, like I said, basketball, a lot of the times I had now obviously it's different in my position. I need to be here. I am on scholarship. I have signed a contract that I'm gonna come in each day and whatever. However, a lot of times I had to make the choice outside of the feeling. I didn't love basketball in the moment, but there's a lot of time I made the choice to get up and go get extra work in, or get up and get extra lifts in, get up and talk to my teammates, go into practice with a loud voice, or there's a lot of times where I had to choose the game without my love for the game. Now, again, I want to make it clear that this doesn't apply to all situations. If there is something that is truly, hurting you, if there's something that's really harmful to who you are, don't, choose to keep going back and forcing it. Pray about it. This is a situation that I know God called me to be in. I use basketball because I know God, I am confident that God put me in this place for a reason. So that is why I continue to choose it. However, being committed sometimes, like I said, is a choice. It's not always, I feel like doing this, so I'm gonna go hard in it, and then the next day. No, like each day you may not feel like doing it, but are you committed to bringing that and to doing it anyway? Another way that I really navigated that situation, and I changed my commitment not to basketball, but to myself. I committed to being intentional with spending time with myself. Took myself on dates, bought myself, hey, let's go to Starbucks, or let's go, I love McDonald's high C oranges. Am I gonna go buy, I committed myself to going to buy things for myself. And it's not always, buying things for yourself. Sometimes it's just, hey, I'm gonna go sit at this park, or I'm gonna go look at this. I love water as well. I love going to look at water. So I'm gonna go to this beach, or I'm gonna go sit at this like little pond. But I'm gonna be intentional about spending time with myself, doing things that I like to do, so that I'm filling myself back up, so that I can continue to give that energy, or I can continue to fulfill what I'm doing, fulfill my responsibilities, or be fulfilled in this moment. So sometimes it's not always, serving others, but can I be intentional with my time with myself? Can I be committed to filling myself up so that I can give my best in this situation? At the end of the day, the biggest things that I wanted us to get from this is what love can look like, what traits really reflect in love. The love of what you do, the love of how you approach everything each day. Can you do it with fulfillment? Can you do it with intentionality? And can you be committed to it? And like I said, it is very important. It does change your life. Another study said that 71% of adults say that having a career they enjoy leads to life fulfillment. So committing to that and being intentional with that can literally change your life, can literally influence your life. And so yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the topic and got something from it. I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if you love what you do, let me know. So yeah, see y'all next time.